You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Good afternoon. I believe if you are in the States, it's around lunchtime. Whenever you take your lunch, if you are in the UK, it is evening, although the sun is still shining. I'm Kadeem Simmons, and Go Time Dolphins is live for the second time in 3 days, but not with such a cheery, attitude and atmosphere. Before we dive into things, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Leave a comment. If you're watching live, leave a comment if you're watching after, and let us know your thoughts on what we're about to discuss. But Charlie Touche, how are you?
Sun is shining. The weather is sweet. You know what song it is?
Bob Marley.
Make you want to move. You're dancing.
I couldn't tell you what the actual song is or what the song is called. But like,
To the rescue.
Yeah.
Hey, look at Kadeem.
Here I am.
Hey, Kadeem finally came through, bro. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. And we here, Kadeem. We got some, I don't want to say breaking news, but we have an update on one of the pieces of the Miami Dolphins that make the team go, that make the heartbeat, whatever what they say, make it all go, make it tick, make it what, you know what I'm saying?
Make the team tick, all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Tyreek Hill is allegedly under investigation for assault and battery that took place this past Sunday at Hallover Marina. Actually, that's where me and LB go sometimes when we go fishing. We go to Hallover. That's where we meet up at the boat. Met some people out there that were Dolphin fans. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like, dang, I wonder if I know the person that this alleged altercation took place with. But I'm like, man, it's just crossing my mind, and something inside of me really wants to text a couple people like, hey, bro, was it you? You know what I'm saying? I really want to do that.
Are you saying that you can get a Go Time Dolphins exclusive with an interview of the alleged person?
I believe I can. I'm saying I believe I can, and I wasn't gonna reach out. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I got some contacts, and one of them was supposed to come on the show when we were fishing, and he was like, "Yeah, man, just set it up." And then I never set it up, and then now this happened. I'm like, "Dang, it's kind of creepy if I reach out now." You know what I'm saying? If I reach out and see what's going on, but maybe I could dabble my way back in to see if we get somebody from Hallover to come on the podcast and fill us in.
Go Time Dolphin sources. Yeah, I was going to bed Tuesday night, and I was up late, kind of like literally just about to go to sleep, scrolling through Twitter, make sure, had Dalvin Cook signed, had DeAndre Hopkins signed, all this kind of stuff. And I see Tyreek Hill was under investigation for, like you said, assault. And a few things went through my mind. And this makes, I don't know if this may be a bad person, but my first thought was, don't let this be a woman, if that makes sense. When we first acquired Tyreek Hill in a trade, I was like, Tyreek Hill, great player, can't ignore the off-the-field issues he had coming out of college. So, like, I'm not going to, do a song and dance about someone who is very fortunate he got a second chance to play the game that he loves. And again, this has nothing to do with what he's been accused of now. I just thought I'd throw that out there. What also went through my mind is this Miami Dolphin fans have had quite a lot of fun over the past 2-3 years, especially this off season, of laughing at other teams and the off the field troubles, given that the Dolphins haven't had any. This is normally like, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, be it a short term one or a long term one, definitely a long term one. This seems to happen like every single off season. There will be a coach or a player who would get himself in trouble, and it's just like the Dolphins can't have nice things. And I think we've remarked a few times how this Dolphins group, from players to staff to all that kind of stuff, have done really well to avoid getting in trouble at all. Even like, is it Jonathan Jones, the Patriots cornerback?
Yeah, I don't want to say his name because I'm not sure his name, but I know a DB recently got in New England.
Yeah, he is potentially facing 30 years in jail for, I think, got caught with like 2 guns at an airport or something like that. So Dolphin fans are laughing, saying, hey, the AFC East is ours because our players are, behaving themselves, all that kind of stuff. And then the Tyreek Hill stuff happened. So you had a really good point last night in a conversation between us two, 5 Yard Lee, and DraftKings Jason. What would you saying about just in general, I guess?
What was I saying about what?
But you said a voice note about Tyreek Hill and suspension, all that kind of stuff. Right.
So here's my thing. You said when you first seen it. When I first seen it, I felt like, and I didn't have the same, I was not inclined to think the same thing you did. But when I first seen it, I wanted to validate it. Like, I'm not validated, but I wanted to investigate it myself. Like, where is this coming from? Are there multiple sources? How credible is it? You know what I'm saying? So once I seen that it was credible, I'm like, it never, I won't say never, but it was not my first thought that this was like a domestic thing. This is just an altercation, right? So the first, I guess I can't say first thing, but the one of the things that popped up in my head fairly quickly was, I don't think he gets suspended this year. And this is before we even talk about if it even happened. You know what I'm saying? Because here in America, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, withhold judgment. I like to give people benefit of the doubt. Even people who've had a past, I still want to give them benefit of the doubt. So my thing was, Kadeem, I feel like when Alvin Kamara had the altercation in Vegas with a guy, I want to say it was Alvin Kamara and a couple of his friends, beat up on someone. I don't know if you jumped them or whatever. They beat him up. Whether the dude started it or not, ultimately the end result was this dude was beat up pretty good. Alvin Kamara didn't get suspended for that. And there's video of that. He didn't get suspended for that last season. And it sounds like he could get suspended for it this season. So my thing is, you have video evidence of that. You had all types of other stuff with other players that took 8 to 9 months of investigating before you rendered, ultimately came to a decision. If you're the NFL, I believe this is not big enough for the NFL to come down and say, hey, this man needs to be suspended this year for X amount of games. I don't think it's that big. I think you're going to get an investigation. And we should highlight that in this report, it is said that the person does not want to press charges. Does not mean you're absolved of everything that happened, but it does say the person does not want to press charges. So in conclusion, Kadeem, I think I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think 2 people got into a verbal altercation. And again, I was not there. And this is what I think happened. I think 2 people got into a verbal altercation. And things got a little heated. And according to the report, it says Kadeem.
Whoa.
Tyreek slapped this guy in the back of the head. It wasn't even a slap. Maybe it was like a push, and then he embellished to say, "Oh, this guy slapped me." It's a football star and all this other good stuff. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not sticking up for Tyreek, or it could have been the other way around. Like, oh, I'm Tyreek Hill and I'll do what I want. And this guy felt offended. Like, oh, you think you Tyreek Hill? Well, I'm gonna call the cops. We don't know, right? But I think it's not big enough to warrant a suspension. I think we might just get a fine. Might be a fine out of this. I don't think it's a suspension, and I don't even think it's the punishment would be this season. In my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an odd one because obviously at no point do we condone. I say we. I think you're Mr. Charlie Free Stripe, so you might condone violence where violence is needed. To be fair, but me, I ain't condoning no violence. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. And yeah, it's one of those things where, as I said earlier, if this was a Dolphins team from 2-3 years ago, I'd be waiting for this to happen. I'd be waiting for the players to get in trouble, all that kind of stuff. It's been nice having no off the field issues recently, and it's more of a annoyance, a distraction. Right now we want to be talking about, me and you personally, about quarterback criteria rankings, and are the Dolphins going to bring in Dalvin Cook and doing an emergency live podcast because DeAndre Hopkins said that he wants to join up with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. It's like, hey, are we going to get DeAndre Hopkins, as opposed to, okay, what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill? And like you said, I do believe that there probably won't be a suspension this year. If there is a suspension, it could be a 1 or 2 game suspension because the NFL might say it's serious, but it's not that serious. Both sides of the story basically, and it's, again, I haven't heard anything. It's just speculating. Both Tyreek Hill and the person say they got into an argument. There's a bit of a pushing back and forth. Both men put hands on each other. The guy doesn't want to press charges, but the NFL says that you brought the league into disrepute, whatever that word is. So we have to be seen to hand out a punishment, but the punishment isn't going to be too bad because you apologize, you admitted what you done, and ultimately it's one of those things. So I mentioned his name. Some people are like, well, this means the Dolphins are going to go and get DeAndre Hopkins in case Tyreek Hill gets suspended. Given that you don't think, and apologies for the noise, I'll ask a question very quickly. Basically, I'm getting drilling outside my room. Yeah, given the nature of everything, do you think the Dolphins make a move for Hopkins, or nah, it's not that deep, and we'll just, even if Hill gets suspended for 1 or 2 games this season, we've still got Charles and Anderson, Waddle, and everyone else?
So here's what I think. I was already in on Hopkins over Cook. We've had this question multiple times on this podcast. Would you prefer Hopkins or would you prefer Cook? I don't mind Dalvin Cook. I'm okay with it. I think it was even the last episode before we even found out about the Tyreek Hill thing. I was like, yo, we can go ahead and go with the running back room that we have. But when you add Hopkins, it's unrealistic that you add him because you still have to create a little bit more space because you only have $13 million of cap space. So you have to create more. So that means some heads would roll. So it's a little unrealistic, but 11 personnel, bro. You every team prefers to go into a game with 11 personnel being their base formation as an offense. So if I ask you right now, which I asked LB, who was the third receiver on the Miami Dolphins? I think if I ask 10 people, I could ask 10 Dolphin fans, by the way. If I ask 10 Dolphin fans, who's the third receiver on the Miami Dolphins right now? Out of those 10 people, I think you'll get 7 different answers. Like, I don't know if someone will say who the third receiver is. Like, someone's going to say Braxton Berrios. Someone's going to say Chosen Anderson. Someone's going to say Cedric Wilson. Someone's going to say Eric Ezukanma. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't have a third option. And I'm not here saying we need more weapons for Tua. I'm not saying that. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, our receiving core is not good enough. We need a third receiver. I'm not saying that. I'm not at all. But you do want a good 11 personnel. And that's why I really wish we would have kept Trent Sherfield, because he's so flexible in what he can do. He can block, he can catch, he could be a slot receiver, not a Cooper Kupp, but someone serviceable in the slot. When you have Braxton Berrios in the slot, he's limited to what he could do because of his size and what his role would be. So if you take Braxton Berrios out the slot and you put Chosen Anderson in there, it's a different type of slot receiver. And I still wouldn't even ask Chosen Anderson to block, if I'm being honest with you. So now when you add Eric Ezukama in there, it's like, well, or Cedric Wilson, you get more. Again, those are two different from each other. But if you put Cedric Wilson in there, more of a traditional slot, probably not the best blocker. And we missed our dog Craycraft 400. You know what I'm saying? Which probably would be my pick would probably be Craycraft 400 would be the third receiver right now. You about to say something?
There was no we. We didn't miss anything. You didn't say anything. And I didn't want to interrupt you. So I was like, I'll let you land and see if you circle back, and you circle back. But there was no we.
Bruh. So Craycraft 400 would probably be my pick. He'd probably be my guess at the third receiver right now, he can block, but obviously Braxton Berrios probably a better slot receiver than Craycraft 400. Again, when you talk about a D-Hop, if you add D-Hop to this offense, Jalen Waddle will be the bona fide slot receiver, and his role will, in essence, be Cooper Kupp of the Miami Dolphins. Back to when he broke 100 and the record for rookie receptions when he in his first year. That'll be Jalen Waddle's role again. Will you see Jalen Waddle go over the top more, or not more, but would you still see him go over the top and deep routes and go routes and stuff like that? Yeah, you see it on occasions. But if you add a Hopkins, that's what it'll look like. Not saying we're going to add Hopkins, but to make it all come together, Tyreek Hill, I want to say yesterday, he posted on Twitter. What was the DeAndre Hopkins tweet?
So Hopkins said that his job is to make the receivers in the room he joins their job easier. And
yeah, I think he said, "Hey, just know whatever receiver group I come, whatever receiving group I join, just know I'll make y'all jobs easier." Something like that. And Tyreek Hill quote tweeted,
responded, with an emoji, and everyone was like, "Are the Dolphins really going to do this?" And again, it's like what you said. Yes, Jalen Waddle probably would be the bona fide slot receiver, but we all know there's so much motion in this offense that he might start off in the slot and then motion off outside and then try and get a free release. Not that he needs a free release. He might start off in the slot. Or again, it just allows Dolphins to show you so many different looks. At any moment, you can't say we're going to put our, best corner on DeAndre Hopkins, because it's like, okay, you're really going to leave Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to just do whatever they want. And it's like when we talk about, the Dolphins depth at DB. I don't think many, if any, teams can boast a cornerback duo like the Dolphins can, let alone, that's not even including your Kader Kohouj, your Fender Podkar, Javon Holland, all these different guys. So if any team in the NFL can match up well with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, you then chuck in DeAndre Hopkins, teams are scared. And, obviously you want to run the ball as much as possible, but when you got those three as your wide receiver trio, why would you run the ball?
I'm going to be real with you, Kadeem. I have an 86 Cutlass. It's my favorite car in the world. Cutlass Supreme. All right. And I looked for this car for a long time. Like, I need to find this car. You know what I'm saying? And I found it in 2012, and I bought it in 2012. I had it ever since, and it's my favorite car in the world. So when people are like, "Oh, well, what's your favorite car?" I'll be like, "Hey, I own my favorite car." It came stock with a 305 engine in it. All right, I'm gonna be real with you, Kadeem. About a year or two into me having the car, the engine blew on the Cutlass. Now, to be fair, it's an older car, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of expected it to be, have engine troubles.
Can I interrupt you for 2 seconds very quickly?
Go ahead.
Is this the car you are talking about? As it slowly loads.
Yeah, that's actually, I didn't know Kadeem was going to put my actual car. I thought he was going to put a picture of an 86 Cutlass. You know what I'm saying? So that is for everyone watching on YouTube. This is my whip. It's an 86 Cutlass, got a sunroof in it, super clean. Oh man, this is beauty right here. So let me tell you, it came with a 305 in it, and the engine blew. I'll be real with you, Kadeem. All I needed was a reason. The engine blew, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to put a 406 in here. Like I'm putting a 383 stroker in here. I don't know what I was gonna do. I just knew I was gonna upgrade the motor. Right? I'm gonna put a. Ain't no telling what I was gonna put in there, right? So I upgraded the motor. I got all kind of horses in the engine now. Do all kind of like burnouts if I so desire, but I don't. You know, I'm a responsible driver. All the Dolphins needed was an excuse. Like, yeah, Hopkins is out there. We don't really need to get him. But now they have an excuse to get him. You know what I'm saying? So even if Tyreek Hill didn't get suspended, but they just wanted to make sure we were taken care of, and you go get Hop for 1 year, doesn't hurt nobody's contracts. Yo, go get Hop for 1 year. He'll get suspended for a game or two, maybe, which I doubt. Probably get a fine, maybe. And if he doesn't get suspended, then we got the best 11 personnel in the NFL. And then that's what it is. So I'm okay with this. No, you're not going to double Tyreek Hill, because if you double Tyreek Hill, you're going to have Hop one-on-one and Waddle one-on-one, and it's just going to be wins all over the board every single play. And if you don't double cover, if you don't double Hill, then we already know what that looks like. You can just ask Baltimore and Buffalo what it looks like to not double Tyreek Hill. So I'm open to it. I've been open to it. I don't think this is as big of a deal as people think, but I understand it. You know, we got the Dolphin platform, so we got to address it.
100%. And yeah, I think you put it expertly when you said the Dolphins just needed a reason. It's like, give me a reason. Give me a reason to do something stupid and go and get DeAndre Hopkins. So it's definitely like, I don't expect the Dolphins to get DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think either of us expect Tyreek Hill to be suspended. But a bad GM wouldn't at least plan for worst case scenario. And again, there's an argument to be made that the Dolphins can survive without, Tyreek Hill for 1 or 2 games, given the depth they have at wide receiver. Tua's put up decent numbers with much less than, Jalen Waddle, Chosen Anderson, Eric Ezekama, Craig Craft 400, Cedric Wilson, not to mention the guys in the run game and stuff like that. So it remains to be seen what happens. I'm sure it's a story which will be, covered extensively by the big guys in the world of NFL reporting. Got a few comments. Hannah Montana said she would not told you we're going live. I told you I was podcasting. If you have notification turned on, you'll see us going live.
Dang, Hannah Montana, you ain't got notifications turned on?
Drakey said they blocked both of us, Hannah. I literally told Drakey we was going live. And then Hannah said she's offended, while Drakey said, Charlie Talker appreciates you, Cads. I take it that's in reference to the picture of Charlie's car, which Charlie can clear up how I got that picture, but I don't think he's going to clear it up. So we'll just...
No, we're not going to clear it up how you got that picture.
That's cool.
We're not going to clear it up.
I have something for bonus time. Anything else you want to add before we?
Yeah, man. Yeah, like, yo, I'm not a violent person. I learned self-defense. Jiu-jitsu is self-defense, Kadeem. Like, I just wanted to learn how to defend myself. And in the process of learning how to defend myself, I also learned how to choke people out and separate them from their limbs. Like, yo, that's just me being defensive. Meaning, if someone was offensive towards me, I can protect myself, and just so happen I can separate you from your consciousness. That's all that means. That doesn't mean I'm violent.
I still need to see UV haze, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Hayes don't want the smoke.
You keep saying that.
Hey, shout out to Hannah Montana. Said her notification is her fiance, which is probably the funniest line ever to come from our comments. But hey, y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Mr. Charlie Touche.
Yep.
I have 2 packages here. Do you want to help me open them?
Let's do it. I like new packages. What's going on here?
Brown or I'm gonna go with the white one. So blame Drakey for this. And when I say blame Drakey, I'm talking to Hannah Montana. And my doorbell rings. So in package number 1, the white package, little thank you message on it. You can see where it says thank you. I got, drum roll please, Miami Dolphins cards.
Doom, doom, doom.
So, I said, actually, no, it's not really a question. So guys, like, this isn't really good podcasting. He put some like sellotape on it. And I don't want to ruin anything, but that should be enough. So we'll go through them. We have, first up, defensive tackle Raekwon Davis. If you can see that.
That's dope.
It's got some words on the back. I believe it's from his rookie year. Yes, his rookie card, Raekwon Davis rookie card. We have the guy who made my birthday last year, Noah Igbenogany. Noah's rookie card. Not gonna lie, I don't think that has much sell-on value, but still a dope card nonetheless.
It is a dope card.
We have the unicorn himself, Preston Williams.
Hey, the unicorn.
He just landed with the Saints, was it?
Did he? I know he went to Carolina last year. So if he's on the Saints now, I must have missed the move.
Oh, no, hold on.
No, Lynn Bowden Jr. went to the Saints.
I think Preston Williams landed with the Patriots.
Lynn Bowden Jr. went to the Saints.
Quickly double check with Preston Williams. He worked out with the Bills 3 weeks ago.
And someone else. Jared Dokes is in Houston.
Yes, shout out to Jared Dokes. Next up, Kalen Ballage, former Miami Dolphins running back.
Shout out to the Bellagio.
Great name. I like this one. Ricky Williams. Got myself a nice little Ricky Williams card.
Prime time 200 yards a game, Ricky Williams against Buffalo. That's unforgettable.
I have a Carl Van Noy, and I have 2 Carl Van Noys. 1 year in Miami before he was surprisingly cut, I think it's fair to say.
Surprisingly, and then it ended his relationship with his homeboy Brian Flores.
Yep. I got another Ricky Williams, and then we are going to end with Xavier Howard. So
okay, X-Man, not the next man.
That's a little bundle. This one, if I show you my address details, don't want to riff anything.
And Kadeem put my car on the podcast, but he can't put his address on the podcast. Okay,
it's the second time your car been on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, bro. Like you just willingly threw my car out there like that, but you couldn't put your address on there like that.
So this is the second one, and another drum roll, please. I know exactly what card this is. If I can get to it. The Penguin himself, Jalen Waddle. 2 Jalen Waddles.
Bro, these are epic cards, bro.
I've got more on the way. They are literally at the post office. I'll pick them up tomorrow. I might do a pack opening on TikTok, on Instagram, YouTube Shorts. So look out for that. But yeah, I am collecting cards, and I'm not going to lie, there 100% will be some giveaways on the channel. So if you're a card collector or you want any, stay tuned. I'll be giving some away probably start with Ricky Williams, as I have 2 Ricky Williams. So over the next few weeks, I'll be giving away this Ricky Williams card. Make sure you have notifications turned on. Make sure you are commenting, liking, all that kind of stuff, so you are aware of when I do my Ricky Williams card giveaway. Charlie Touche, anything else you would like to add?
So I used to be a card collector when I was younger. And it was a big deal. Huge deal to be a card collector. And I had 5 brothers and sisters. And everyone, all the boys kind of collected cards. So it got to a point where some of us got too old or older and didn't care about the cards. So the youngest would inherit all the older cards. So at one point, this card collection was massive. Like even in the Panthers, the Florida Panthers, year of the rat, when we got put on the map, bro, it was a huge deal. I had the Charles Woodson rookie card. My brother got it for me. I ain't gonna lie. This was like probably my favorite card ever. It was Charles Woodson rookie card. And we had a huge collection. We had a binder. You just flip the page. You just flip the page. It had like 12 cards per page. And then we had a case. It was in a small box that we put in a fireproof like safe. That's how dope all these cards were in this box. And I was moving one year because I had the cards at this point. My younger brother went to college. My older brothers didn't care about the cards no more. So the cards were in my possession. So I was moving one year, and I remember the year and everything. And this is why I have a sore spot when it comes to collecting cards. Like I don't appreciate them the same anymore. So I was moving and I had a storage facility, a storage unit. So I had some stuff in storage. And I would go to this storage probably once a week, once every 2 weeks. And then we were like kind of done with the storage. I was kind of done with the storage. And like, I got to close this thing out soon. And someone that I know personally took it over. And that someone stopped paying on it and it went up for auction. And I had no idea this was going down. I had no idea this was a thing. I thought, I got to go get the rest of my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when it was time for me to go get the rest of my, I'm like, hey, can you meet me at the storage? I got to get the rest of my stuff. This person was like, oh, I told you I don't have it anymore. I'm like, what? Like, you never told me none of this. What are you talking about? And it's crazy because, some people, and I ain't gonna lie, bro, some of them cards, I guarantee were worth thousands of dollars today. And I will go as far to say maybe a couple of them were probably worth a couple $100,000s today, right? And for about 2 days, I ain't gonna lie, for about 2 days after I was told that the storage went up for auction, my immediate response to this person was, why didn't you just tell me? And I could have paid for it, the storage. 2, I could have at least been a part of the auction, like to get my stuff back. You know what I'm saying? Because people, it didn't look like there was nothing in there. So somebody probably got this unit for like a couple $100. You know what I'm saying? Bro. So for the next couple of days after I realized my stuff was gone, bro, I was so hurt, bro. Like I felt like I lost a part of me. And after about 2 days, I was like, it's just material. It is what it is. So yeah, man. I'm not a materialistic person no more. Actually, probably because of that. And I developed some callous for it. So I'm appreciative of the experience, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. It hurt. And I told the story before years later, and it still hurt when I told the story. And it kind of hurts now, but it's like, man, bro, there's no telling what could have been with those cards. It was a whole bunch, bro. Gang of them.
As Drake says, dude, this is breaking my heart, man. Like, you let things go a lot better than I do. That's all I can say. Shout out to DB. Good guys, good day, guys. Inside the show as always. Thank you very much. Drake, he says, as someone that lost all the Pokemon cards, I feel you. Yeah, I'm literally. No,
Go ahead,
you,
my bad.
no,
Nah, you
obviously,
good.
I'm just getting into like cards now, as you can see, at, the tender age of 33.
Mhm.
I'm like, I want to do pack openings because
Yeah.
it's quite fun. And then my next 2 or 3 cards come in, they're going to be in cases like my pride possession.
I
Like,
get it, bro. I get it, man. Like I understand it too. I understand, bro. Yeah, man. Hold on. You got something you want to end on?
just for like my own personal thing, let me know in the comments if you want to see me do pack openings on YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever, and I can arrange that. But that was it for me.
Yeah, man. You said I let go of things. You said easily. I don't know if I let them go easily, but I do let it. I do let things go. Like for real. Like you know what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hold on to that forever. You know what I'm saying? Or do I just all right? It's time to move on. You feel me? So I know that I that's one of my strengths. You know what I'm saying? And I do understand that. And even today when we were talking about Tyreek Hill, not you, but even when I talk about people, I was talking to one of my cousins, and when he told me like oh, I thought it was another chick. Like I think my thing is I try not to identify people with the worst sin they ever made in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what forgiveness is. You feel me? So I try not to identify people with that. And even if we go something to less, I don't want to say it's less egregious, but and this is more I don't know, it's more prevalent either, but when white people might say the N-word when they were younger in high school, like you get the athletes bring back a 16-year-old tweet from I think Josh Allen when he was 18. Like, bro, do 18, bro. Like if I had records of some of the stuff I did or said when I was 18, I would be looked upon very differently. You know what I'm saying? So I just have some grace. You feel me? And that's just how I operate.
A couple of years ago, I deleted a lot of tweets when I was like 21. And the thing is, I was like 21, 22. I was talking reckless, trying to get jobs. Like, I finished uni, trying to get jobs. My Twitter feed was horrendous. So, yeah, that was me 12 years ago before I became a dad, before I became to be a soon to be husband and stuff like that. So, yeah. And shout out Robert Ashton. Damn, Ring on Holiday sucks. I missed a live episode. I'm sure there'll be plenty of live episodes that you can be a part of over the next few weeks, months, and years. But again, thanks for jumping in, saying hi, leave a like, share, subscribe. That's it for me. Charlie, last thing for you.
Yo, hold on. Kadeem just said soon to be husband, bro. That put a smile on my heart, boy. Like, yo, my dog about to meet me at the altar in your white dress. Like, let's go, Kadeem. That was my dog, man. Hey, what you make of the what's going on with the boys lost at sea? What you make of that?
Probably the scariest way to potentially pass, like to be trapped in this tiny submarine, like, and apparently it's locked from the outside. So it's not even like they could open it and try and swim away. It's terrifying. Genuinely terrifying.
I think technically it's a submersible. I think it's because a submarine has. Let me not get into my marine science. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's technically a submersible. But I like an underdog story, bro. I love the underdog story. So it's unlikely, but the hope is. In the 24th hour, they find this thing floating at the top. Like, we got to get them out. And then, y'all boys only had like 2 hours left to go, and we found you. Like, hopefully that's the outcome, but it ain't looking good for them boys, man. I never understood the obsession people have with the Titanic. I never understood that, bro. That's crazy to me.
Makes no sense, but listen, as long as the Miami Dolphins 2023 season doesn't sink like the Titanic, that's what I care about.
This guy.
Gonna end it there.